Which is why, for me, I keep sharing that what we're doing is so valuable. We're creating awareness of what's not working for you, which you already kind of know. We're just giving it a language now. Like many of you would have known that when you shout to your child or you say to them, if you do that again, I'm going to smack you, or I'm going to take away your TV. But we didn't know that that is called a technique of threatening, or a technique of blame, or a technique of just look at these gray hairs. That's because you guys are fighting. That's a technique of martyr, right? So now we suddenly can see those things. We can see them outside of ourselves. We see them as that's not really what we're wanting to create. It's just that that's the technique we're using purely because we don't know what else to use. And now that we know that, it empowers us actually to see, well, if that's a technique, well, surely there must be another technique which we could use which would be better, which makes us feel, well, hey, maybe there's a bit of hope here. I can actually use a different technique than that one. That's not a default technique for every human being. It just happens to be the one that we use because that's how we were brought up. Which, as I said, is very empowering, and especially realizing that most other parents use exactly the same technique because they also weren't shown or taught any better or grew up with anything better. So we've really come, I wouldn't even say full circle. We're kind of scratching the surface of really what is possible for you in what is a primary drive for you, which is really giving your child what you really want to give them, which I've also realized is you want to give them the best of you, right? You've got so much that you also value inside of yourself that you want to impart to your child, and you're also aware that while doing that, at times you also show the other side of you, which you sometimes feel, I would much rather not show that to my child. Not from the space of, oh, I'm feeling so bad, but just that you realize it doesn't quite serve you, nor your child. In one of the surveys that we just got back now, a parent said, I don't want my child to fear me. Okay? She wants her child to love and respect, partly because she has this vision of her and her child growing old together. In other words, with a friendship that deepens and expands, like a family. It's not like a parent is saying, well, I'm going to nurture you for the first 7 years, maybe 12, and then somehow you're going to enter the teenage years and then you're on your own. These parents are saying, I want to have the sense of family, of community, of deep relationship, not only in the 0 to 7 years, but actually beyond that, and even when they're adults with their own children. I want that sense that they can still come to me, even if they're 20, 30 years old, as opposed to, I want them to come to me when they're teenage years because I know they're going to get into some trouble there. So there's a real long-term belief, which again is, I've realized, the kind of parents that are going to do the kind of work we're doing are not the quick fix parents. They want the quick fix, but they realize that they're willing to put in the time and the effort to make a difference because they know that if they do that, they will reap the rewards, both short-term and long-term. And they're aware that some of the techniques out there, the traditional techniques, are just the short-term techniques which will get them instant rewards, short-term goals, but it's going to so undermine them. And that sits in a parent and says, there's no ways I can carry on doing what I've been doing because I know that I'm going to keep getting the same results, and that's just not, it's not okay for me. It's not in alignment of my value system. Because my value system is I want to respect my child. It's a core need. My child deserves respect. They have a right to be respected. And then it's when they realize that their actions are not in alignment of that value system, it sits there inside of them and it hurts them. And it's like, well, now what do we do with that? And they know that they want to do something about it, but what are they going to do? And that's where these just slot straight in. It's creating the distinction of what we're doing that is impacting our child negatively or undermining them, and then what can we do that actually gets what we're needing done, day-to-day logistics, day-to-day cooperation, and at the same time gives our child the opportunity of their needs being met. And sometimes it's very difficult to have both your needs and your child's needs met. Renee's got a story she's going to share just now about that. But that's the striving that we do. We really persist and we keep thinking about it. And my question to those kinds of parents like you sitting here is you can't stop yourself from thinking those thoughts. You're continuously going to be striving to do what you feel is best. It's not like you're just going to do it for the first 2 weeks and then sit back and say, well, I've arrived, I've done it. It's a continual journey, which is exciting because it's not like there are 3 skills, which if you just got everything else to be hunky-dory, it's a deepening because your child is going to be evolving and developing. The circumstances are going to be changing. The world out there is changing and we're adapting continuously, which again can really make that journey exciting as long as you feel that you're on the right track to getting where you want to get to. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're coming together, we're on a journey to see how could I get better results than I'm getting now. It's not wrong, whatever the results we're getting. It's just a question, well, how could I make this even work better for me and for my child? And then we just start unpacking. And that's the big difference, I think, between an intelligent parent and a parent who's just accepting the status quo. Is an intelligent parent is saying, what could I keep doing? What could I keep doing? And therefore they keep inquiring. They keep searching for that. And they keep adapting and finding the solutions. Whereas most parents out there who are looking for the pill, for the quick fix, are going to think that their children must change, or the children are going to go through a phase, and then they're going to keep getting the same results. And what we're really impacting at fundamental level is the results that you're getting, both the short term and the long term.